The political killings scourge rearing its ugly head again in KwaZulu-Natal. An aspiring EFF councillor being shot dead near Pietermaritzburg on Sunday, and last week 2 ANC members were gunned down in Cato Crest. Also in KZN, 3 women were killed while attending a meeting to elect a ward councillor. So in 2016, UKZN's Prof Paulus Zulu told the Moerane Commission that competition for social and political positions is the major reason for these killings. In fact, Emeritus Professor Paulus Zulu joins us now to reflect on this issue ahead of the local government elections. Prof, it's great to have you with us on the show this morning for your analysis of the situation. I mean, for one, political killings, and you'll correct me here, seen more insofar as the ANC and the IFP is concerned, more phenomenon with those 2 big political parties in KwaZulu-Natal. It now seems to be political violence, an intra-party issue.
Yes, and what are you saying about it?
I mean, is that right? And why is that the case, do you think?
Why is political violence being an inter-party issue?
Indeed.
I think the political violence between the IFP and the ANC, as you mentioned it, was probably incidental. Mm. In other words, it could have been a political violence between any of the political parties. It just happened that at that particular time, it was the IFP and the ANC. In other words, if in future a new political configuration emerges, we would still have the same pattern. Now, that must be saying that political violence, sociologically, must be in the DNA of the region.
And you're talking about KwaZulu-Natal here?
Yeah, I'm talking about KwaZulu-Natal. And in other words, it could be political violence between anybody, should there be political circumstances that bring it about.
So the political party involved in the apparent incidents of political violence, are you saying that's just incidental? It's actually an issue in the province itself?
I say it is in the DNA, or in the sociological or anthropological DNA of the region. But beyond that, it is also in the political circumstances of the country where apparently there isn't a willing leadership to contain or to stop or put to a stop any form of violence, be it political, criminal, or otherwise. And so it's a combination of circumstances here. Number one, I am saying that the politics of the region is probably an incidental player. There is a complete absence of any form of discipline, control, etc., in the country, and where there are predisposing factors for any form of violence, it emerges. It could be in politics, it could be in the taxis, it could be anywhere.
I mean, it's interesting that you mention between taxis, because we see just over the past couple of weeks there have been incidents of clashes over routes. So where there's competition, it does appear in certain sectors that instead of coming together around a table to deal with the various issues that are concerned, if indeed we are so-called rivals, be it in the political space or, as you say, in the taxi arena, why can't we deal with competition without violence?
Let's start by saying, I think if we have to conduct a thorough analysis, number one, there is a complete absence of control. Because of this complete absence of control, it has given rise to all forms of impunity. Hence, when there is a problem in the taxes, people act with impunity. When there is a problem in politics, people act with impunity. When there is a problem in the social sphere, such as in ordinary crime, people act with impunity. If we isolate cases and say political violence, they only act as precipitators, triggers in an atmosphere where impunity already exists. So it becomes easy to resort to violence because they know the consequences are not going to be that dire.
And I mean, if
so
we look
people
at
act with,
continue, Prof.
Yeah, people act with impunity everywhere because there is lawlessness and normlessness in the country.
In fact, you mentioned the July looting as well.
Exactly. You get your July looting.
Yeah.
It happens because people know that they can act with impunity. And when the July looting is over, you get the taking of hostage of members of cabinet. That's still part of the manifestation of a climate that's riddled with lawlessness and impunity. In other words, we are leaderless. There is no leadership with a vision to govern the country properly.
When the risk of consequence is low, do people act with impunity? Emeritus Professor Paulus Zulu, let me thank you for your time this morning on the AM Report. He's with UKZN School of Social Sciences as we continue to unpack the political violence in parts of the country, specifically in KwaZulu-Natal.